No, right, baby Asa? Okay, I'm just gonna check it on here once again. I thought about changing my location for tonight, but this really is like the quietest space I can film. So I'm hoping that it goes well in here tonight and doesn't mess up like last night. Hi, you going to be joining me tonight? So baby Ace is going to be joining us tonight, at least for a little while, because again, he is off of his sleep schedule. So he's up right now, right? And he just ate. Hi, Pink So Sweet. Nice to see you. Hope you're having a great Saturday, or I hope you did have a great Saturday so far. Sorry, I just had to burp him real quick. I didn't burp him yet. I know we started a little late because he was hungry. And I was like, let me feed him now and get it out the way. So he doesn't make me have to turn it off earlier than I want to. But let me just say, okay, it looks fine over here. So hopefully it goes well tonight. But hello, welcome to my channel, Shades of Sage. My name is Tashima McRae. I am a doula and mom of 4. And this is my 4th time breastfeeding. So, yes, I'm having a wonderful Saturday so far. That's awesome. Hey girl, I'm happy I caught your live. Hi, how's your pregnancy going? Are you almost, I can't remember when your due date was, but I hope you're hanging in there too. And thank you for joining the live. So yeah, doula, mama 4, breastfeeding, and breastfeeding is a passion of mine. I like talking about breastfeeding because I feel like there's so many bad information out there. Here's Calm for the live. Wonderful. I know. I'm hoping he stays this way. He is tired, but he'll fight it. He'll fight it tooth and nail. So we'll see. We'll see how long he lets me record. But yeah, I just feel like there's a lot of misinformation out there, and I just want to help moms find the right and correct breastfeeding information and help them feel supported on their breastfeeding journeys. And so if you've been watching so far this week, you're welcome. If you've been watching so far this week, this is Black Breastfeeding Week. So we're celebrating Black and brown moms breastfeeding. And honestly, there's really not that much representation out there. 17 weeks and I do February 7th. Oh, okay. Yeah, so just hit your 2nd trimester. Aw, that's so sweet though. I hope you're doing well. Hope your pregnancy's going well so far. And that, you know, it'll go well the rest of the time. But February, that's cool. And yeah, so I just really want to help moms feel supported and help moms feel seen, you know, because there is, you know, quite a few channels on here and on Instagram and stuff, but a lot of us are not represented. And so it's just better to, I just feel like, to be able to see yourself when you get in certain information. Breastfeeding is definitely one of them, because there's a lot of different factors that we face as Black moms that other groups of moms don't face, and we are the least likely to breastfeed, which is really discouraging. But I am hoping and diligently working to get those numbers up there. So, you know, I'm here to troubleshoot moms who are having issues with, like, look at, what is he doing? What's he doing right now? Y'all see this? What are you doing? You trying to get the light or something? You're just acting crazy. Let's turn him around. Maybe that would be better. Try to help moms who are maybe dealing with certain issues with breastfeeding when they come up. And I just always say, like, the more information you have, the better, especially going into it. So, like, if you can get that information during pregnancy, and then if you do run into issues while you are breastfeeding, it's a little bit easier. You can go back in your mind and say, hey, I remember learning about this, or I remember hearing about this. And just really being connected to the right resources, like knowing who to go to when you're having, like, trouble with breastfeeding. And so that's what I strive to do here on this channel. That's one of my goals. And so the first night we talked about thrush. Last night we talked about pain during breastfeeding and engorgement. And so tonight we're going to talk about the reasons babies nurse other than nutrition. So of course, we know breast milk, or milk in general, is baby's primary source of nutrition while they are under the age of 1, so 1 and under. And yes, one of the biggest proponents or one of the biggest reasons to breastfeed is for nutrition. So that is that is just something that our bodies do. When our placentas detach from the uterus, our bodies instantly start making that colostrum, and then that will become transitional milk and then become your mature milk. So that is the main goal of breastfeeding, but there are so many other reasons why babies breastfeed and why babies nurse. And sometimes it can seem like your baby is just nursing all day long, but they have other reasons why they breastfeed. What's this, buddy? So no, let's take that. You can have your turtle. He's like, no, I don't want the turtle. Hi. Do you know why? Are you talking about other reasons why babies nurse, or? Because I honestly didn't see that one when it came in. So I'm sorry about that. But if you can just, do I know why? Are we talking about the nursing? Yes, don't forget the thumbs up. But yes, I'm going to go over at least 10 other reasons why babies nurse. It is not just nutrition for them, even though we know that that's the biggest one. Like, that's the basic requirement for a baby, is that they have milk, right? And human milk is the best that they can have. So yes, babies eat for nutrition. They eat mainly for hunger. I don't want to even say mainly. They eat for hunger. That is a requirement for their growing bodies. And of course, they also, bless you, they also breastfeed for thirst. So, breast milk, I put in one of my Facebook posts that is the perfect amount of micronutrients and nutrients for babies. So it's got the perfect amount of carbohydrates, the perfect amount of fats, and it is a high water, food, superfood, liquid gold, whatever you want to call it. So yes, it does cover both, nutrition as far as what babies need to grow, and it also covers their thirst. So when they're thirsty, they will nurse. But also, babies nurse for comfort. I don't know if you've ever noticed, like, if your baby maybe seems scared, or maybe if you go to a new place for the first time, you may notice that your baby wants to nurse more. And that's just because them being next to you, being close to you, brings them comfort. And so in certain situations, they may want to nurse more because they see mom, and breast milk as a form of comfort. So they'll nurse for that, to be comfortable. Also for, like, I want to say, like, well, I don't want to skip ahead. There's some other things, so I don't want to, put things into each other. Okay, I was just checking to see if anything else came in. Oh, but the nursing for comfort and nursing to feel safe kind of go hand in hand. So like I was saying, if it's a new place, or maybe a new experience, or maybe if your child is in daycare and they come back home, after, he's gonna mess up all my stuff. After you bring them home, they may nurse more. Like, you may notice that they'll nurse more. And that's because you as mom are the safe space. So not only are you providing the nutrition for them, but you're also providing just that security that babies need. And so, thank you. And so that may be another reason why your baby nurses outside of nutrition. So all their nutrition needs may be, fulfilled or for the day, but they still want to nurse. So that may be another reason why your baby nurses. And I know, like, even now, I'm going to go back again to my experience with Saya. So Saya was in the NICU for 7 weeks. And I saw her every single day, but I wasn't there 24/7. I was there for most of the time, but I would go home to, like, shower, take a nap, and that kind of thing. So when I was home, I would just pump at the time, every 2 hours, probably every 2 hours I would pump. And they had her on a 3-hour schedule in the NICU. So I remember when we went home, one of the nurses was like, we have her on this 3-hour schedule. Just make sure you keep up with it. And it just didn't sound right to me. Now, when she got home, she was not playing that 3-hour stuff. She was like, I'm going to be on here all day long. That's what I want to do. And I didn't mind it, because I just felt like I'm not going to deny my baby food, and I'm not going to deny her if she's seeming like she wants to nurse, or if she's acting like it, or whatever. Then I'm going to put her to nurse. I'm not going to be like, oh, I can't feed you because it hasn't been 3 hours yet. And I think sometimes that information or that recommendation may may discourage some moms And that also sometimes you know, if your baby does seem hungry before that 3 hour mark, like you may think you're not producing enough, and then you know you may try to you may think that you need to supplement or whatever, but no, babies eat for lots of different reasons besides just being hungry. And just think about, you know, me and you. Like, we eat throughout the day. Most people eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Sometimes we have snacks throughout those meals, and then sometimes we just want drinks, or, you know, I mean, just something sweet here or there. Maybe just a hard candy in our mouth or whatever. So if you really total up like the amount of times that we eat throughout the day, or the amount of times that we put something in our mouth throughout the day, whether it be food, water, snacks, whatever, it's more than 3 times a day, or it's more, for some people, maybe more than every 3 hours. And so your baby is the same way. And so it's totally normal for them to, you know, nurse and maybe even fall asleep and get back up and want to nurse within like an hour window or an hour and a half. And you may be like, whoa, what is going on? I just fed this baby. But it is normal. I never used a breast pump before. My oldest is 12 years. Breast pump wasn't common where I came from. Yeah, that's good, because I'm not a fan of the breast pump either. Now, you know, I have been able to stay home and feed on demand. And that's good for me, because when I did use the breast pump, and I was saying in my video last night, like, I'm one of those women that kind of naturally overproduce. And Saya was so small. So she was only, when she was born, she was only 2 pounds, 11 ounces. So I was making all this milk, and it was just like the pumping kind of made it worse. Now, when I brought her home, I had like tons of pumped milk in the freezer. But she didn't really want to drink out of a bottle once she was there with me, you know, like 24/7. So we really didn't use the pump milk. So, and also, so, you know, so then I stopped pumping, and it was just like my body had to adjust to that oversupply that I had built up and produced. So that's one of the reasons why I'm not a fan of it. And also, the pump is not as effective as getting milk out of the breast as the baby is. And I'm not sure if I want to go too much into that, because I want to talk about supply or low supply, or women thinking that they have low supply, in another video. And I really want to delve into that subject, because I hear it so often. And a lot of times it's not true. It's just not true. They're just not following the techniques that they need to produce a good, healthy breast milk supply for their baby. And again, like I said, the breast is not equivalent to putting your baby to nurse. When you put your baby to nurse, you know, straight to your breast, there's things that go on, like, you know, I breastfed mine whenever they wanted and thought I wasn't producing enough. Oh, did you feel like you weren't producing enough because they seemed like they was always hungry? Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, if people don't tell you, you may think that I'm not producing enough, because how, in your mind, you're like, how is it that my baby's hungry? I just fed this baby. Whatever, it was 30 minutes ago, or an hour ago, or an hour and a half. And that's why I want to talk about some of the reasons I want to breastfeed a lot longer this time. Well, I definitely support you. And if you feel like you need any help, like, you know, or encouragement or whatever, definitely stay tuned to this channel, because I try to cover the things that I hear the most often and help moms to know this is okay. This is normal. I know I've seen, like, a lot of times I see, or like even WIC, one of their slogans is, you know, breastfed babies eat between 8 to 12 times a day. That's the bare minimum. Honestly, like, I don't keep track, like, I don't count when I breastfeed. I used to with Saya in the very beginning, but honestly, sometimes it could be up to 20 times a day. And that's normal too, because like I said, sometimes they just want a snack. Sometimes they're just thirsty, but then other times they're hungry. And you can kind of tell the difference if your baby's on there longer, or maybe it's been a while since your baby, you know, or if it's been a while, if your baby didn't eat that long the last breastfeeding session, then now they're like, yeah, they're actually hungry. But sometimes your baby gets on and 5 minutes is done. You know what I mean? And that could be, maybe they were just thirsty, and maybe they just got scared and they just needed that physical, attachment from you. So that is a lot of reasons. So where was I? So yeah, that 3-hour thing, I kind of threw that out the window. I just let my baby eat whenever she wanted. And we were successful with that. Another big reason why babies nurse. He is all over the place. You all over the place. What are you doing? Is when they are sick. when they're sick or when they're about to get sick. And it's so funny because even you as a mom, your body can tell when your baby's about to get sick. And that's, again, going back to that feeding from the breast, like their saliva sends like signals to you as mom, and then your body. I saw this awesome animation. I think Tiana, my sister, sent it to me, and I think my mom sent it to me too. But it was so beautiful. It was like, and you've probably seen it on Instagram if you type in like breastfeeding, but it was like what happens to the mom's brain when she puts her baby to nurse, and it showed the baby, latching on to the mom, and then it showed like all the molecules going up to her brain and triggering certain things in her brain, and then coming back down and releasing the milk for the baby. And it was just so beautiful. And I'm trying to put it somewhere. I don't know where I can put it or share it so you guys can see it too, or you ladies can see it too. But that's really what breastfeeding does. It's really like a like your body is communicating with your baby's body. And so if your baby's about to get sick, or if your baby is currently sick, your baby may nurse more during those times, and may need like more frequent feeding, because in your breast milk you have antibodies. So whatever you as a mom have, like certain immunities too, whether you've been vaccinated, you pass some of those things on to your baby in your breast milk. And if you yourself as the mom, the breastfeeding mom, is sick, you pass on those antibodies to your baby too. And so that's one of the reasons why they say breastfed. I keep saying that. Why they say breastfed babies don't get as sick as their peers, or other babies who aren't breastfed, because you have that that antibodies that flow through your milk to your baby to help them with their immune system. So that's definitely great. Don't unzip my shirt. You not eating right now? Oh, he's so bad. The next one is growth spurts. So yes, when your baby is going through those growth spurts, oh my gosh. And the cluster feeding, I do have a video about cluster feeding if you want to know specifically what that is. But basically, again, like I said, is your baby eating or feeling the need to eat back to back to back. And I know mine's, for all of my kids, I feel like they had a really big growth spurt and a really big like cluster feeding session at like 3 months old. I feel like all of them kind of around that same time. And most growth spurts are kind of like what's the word, like kind of universal to each child. Like at each stage, it's usually around the 3, 6, 9, and 12 mark where babies will have their growth spurts. Are you tired? You can go to sleep. And for me, what cluster feeding looked like was like from the hours of 7 to 10, they just wanted to nurse constantly. Like they would nurse and then maybe just off to sleep, wake up and want to nurse again within like a 30-minute period, and then just off to sleep. And then they would do that for a while until about like 10 o'clock, and then like finally sleep for 2 or 3 hours at a time at that point. And like all of my babies did that at that time. So I knew it was just something that their bodies did once they were going into their growth spurts. And so yeah, but cluster feeding, that's like feeding on demand times 2. Like they are eating all the time, but again, their bodies know what they need. And so if they need those extra nutrients because of the growth spurt, because they have to learn a new skill such as sitting up, or holding their own head up, things like that require energy, and that's where your breast milk comes in. So those growth spurts will definitely get you into producing more milk for that. And then another reason why babies nurse is pain relief. So I hear a lot of moms saying when their babies are teething that they'll notice that their babies want to nurse more. Now my babies, I have been really lucky, and my babies don't get teeth until after we stop breastfeeding, which I feel is a little, I don't know if it's because of the breastfeeding. Like I wonder if I wasn't breastfeeding, if my babies would get teeth earlier. But they really don't get theirs until like 11 months, 12 months. And so for me, I haven't really experienced that. I do have them try to, like bite down a little bit, but they don't have no teeth, so it doesn't hurt that bad. But yeah, for pain relief, and I would say that after my boys, so I did have my boys circumcised, after they would come back from their circumcision, I definitely noticed that they wanted to nurse more. Like they would nurse and go to sleep, nurse and go to sleep, and until their bodies felt a little bit better after that procedure. So I definitely have experience with that. I want to say, and again, if your baby is sick and maybe has like a little a fever, you give them the baby Advil, Motrin, or whatever. But usually during those instances where they are sick or when they are in pain, you'll notice that they want to nurse a little bit more frequently than normal. And so another one is the need to suckle. That's a big one because again, I don't use pacifiers either. So sometimes it just seems like all I do in a day is breastfeed. And it can be like, I'm not gonna lie, it can be exhausting. It can be like, oh, I just can't wait to have my body back to myself. But I know that it's just a part of, of the breastfeeding relationship. And so if you also don't use pacifiers, babies like to suck on things. It could be their hand, if you're fine with that. Some parents don't let their babies to suck on their hand. I don't mind it. And sometimes they do that, but sometimes they just want to suckle. And so as a mom, they're going to choose, your nipples. You can buy pacifiers and that will kind of fulfill that need for them. But sometimes it's not about eating. They just want something to suck on. So that is also another reason why your baby may want to breastfeed. Another one is to warm up. Now, this one is kind of interesting, especially because, again, with Saya, so she was in the NICU and there were certain requirements that she had to meet in order to be released from the NICU. So one of them was to be able to maintain her temperature. And I just feel like with the breastfeeding that really helped her personally. Now, we weren't able to breastfeed straight from the breast when she was first born. One of the reasons, she was too small. So she was, I was giving her my pump milk, but it was going through the tube. I think the NG tube, that's what they call it. And then once she was able to feed from the breast, we were able to do that from there. But I do think that helped her to be able to maintain her temperature probably a little bit faster and a little bit more sufficiently. Is having that breast milk, because again, when your baby is on you, they're on you. And I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but when I'm breastfeeding, I am so hot. And I never used to be like a hot person, but like since I became a mom, like during pregnancy and while I'm breastfeeding, I'm just hot like all the time. That's probably why in some videos you can see the fan, but the fan is just on constantly because I'm hot and I just am always hot. And I feel like because I'm hot, and the baby's on me, of course they're warm as well. And so yeah, if you live in like colder climates, and even if you're breastfeeding out in public and you wear the cover, like when we have to wear the cover, it's just agony because I'm already hot. The baby's already on me, and then I put the cover on, and it just makes us all hot. It's just too much. So yes, I do agree that breastfeeding can warm you up. I remember when I was in the hospital after I gave birth, was it this time or last time? I was just like soaking through the like nightgown or whatever that they give you. I'm watching you. Because I was just so hot. And I feel like that's one of the signs also for your milk coming in. At least for me, I get extremely hot. Not like a fever, but just I feel really hot. I feel really sweaty. And night sweats is just one of those things that some women experience postpartum anyway. But definitely breastfeeding, if you are a breastfeeding mom, maybe you can relate to what I'm talking about that. It's just this extra heat. I don't know. But yes, babies will nurse also to warm up. Another reason why babies may nurse is to calm down. And I'm sure you've seen this one. If you have breastfed before, sometimes they're just worked up about whatever. And the moment you nurse, they calm down. The moment you put them to breast, they'll calm down. And so I love that, honestly. That's one of the things that I kind of miss when I'm not breastfeeding, is because I know once I put them to nurse, it just seems like whatever the problem or issue is, it will be gone when they're breastfeeding. So yes, it definitely calms them down. And again, it helps them to feel secure. It helps them to feel safe. So if they are, worried about something, if they are stressed out about something, breastfeeding usually helps them with that. And back to the stress. So I was saying on one of my Facebook posts that, to try to stay as stress-free as you can, because it can affect your breast milk supply. And I do feel like stress, if mom is stressed, then baby will be stressed also as well. So just try to remember that when you're breastfeeding, and even while you're pregnant, to try not to let things stress you out. I know, everyone's situations, everyone may be going through different things, but try not to be as stressed, because I just personally believe that stress affects the baby. And so the same thing with your breast milk. If you just try to be calm, usually things will go better. Like your breast milk will just flow, and your baby will be calm also as well. But if your baby is worked up, just put that baby to breast, and I promise you, for the most part, they will calm down. And then the last one I think I have for written down here is to fall asleep. And that is one of the best things. Now, I know some people don't like to nurse to sleep because they don't want their babies to be like reliant on that. But I personally do not see a problem with that. Like, I will nurse to sleep anytime, any day. Sometimes babies just get really cranky, and they don't, especially when they're little, they don't really know how to self-soothe. Of course, we're teaching them that as they get older, but in the very beginning, they don't know how to do those things. They don't really know how to do life without mom outside of the womb, because everything is so new for them. So we're helping them with those things. So and I just feel like breastfeeding plays a big part of that. And I definitely nurse to sleep. I also, co-sleep. We're still co-sleeping like half and half now. I want him to be able to sleep in the bassinet the whole night through by himself, but he's not there yet, and that's okay. But yeah, to fall asleep. And I know a lot of times, especially in the hospital, back to the hospital, because sometimes I think it's hospital policy, not to, co-sleep and have your baby in the bed if you're sleeping or whatever. And sometimes that can just be a really, what's the word? A really uncomfortable stay. Like for my first, I ended up staying for a whole week. And that's just because I had a lot of complications and everything like that. And she wasn't in the room with me, so it wasn't that big of a deal. With my second and my third and my fourth, I was like, as soon as I can get out of here, the better. Because y'all just cramping my style. Like, it's just certain things that I need to do, certain things that I need to go about things, or ways that I need to go about things. And, the hospital is not as friendly about certain things. So anyway, yeah, I nurse to sleep. I have no problem with that. And it, honestly, I don't feel like it affects your baby's sleep going forward. Like, my older children, they can fall asleep on their own. They're not like reliant or dependent on me to be able to go to sleep after a certain age. So I don't think that it causes any long-term dependence. It's just something that babies, do. They need that in the very beginning. I used to nurse to sleep. I see nothing wrong with that. Yeah, like it's beautiful. Nurse the baby go to sleep. Put the baby down if you don't co-sleep, or if you do co-sleep, the baby's there, and just go to sleep. Asa is funny because he's a really nosy baby. So I don't know if I want to say nosy, but he likes entertainment and things like that. So if there's something going on that he finds interesting, hi, how are you? I'm doing good. How are you, Luke Yogi? I'm doing well. Thank you so much. So if he sees things that are interesting, he'll stay up even though he's like really, really cranky. And then sometimes I just have to like go somewhere quietly and nurse him. And then they told me not to co-sleep, but I definitely Me too. And I'm great, thanks. You're welcome. Co-sleeping is just one of those things. I honestly think it can be done safely. And I did co-sleep with all my babies. And I know someone requested me to do a co-sleeping video, and I do plan to do it. It's just, I don't know how I want to go about it yet. I'm not sure if I want to film it, because I'm like, I don't want to lose a whole night of sleeping because I'm filming, because, if you make YouTube videos, you know how you have to just set up everything and make sure everything is right. And I'm not so sure I want to do that, because I'm not getting, like 5 hours of sleep through the night yet. But yeah, then with my second child, they were acting like I was a first-time mom. I'm like, get me out of here. Right? You'd be like, I'm ready to go. Baby haircut looks so cool. Mohawk. Yeah, they definitely, all my kids had the mohawk, all of them. So that's just the way that all their hair grows in. Isn't that right, baby Asa? It's so funny because all their hair grows in this way, and all of them look almost exactly the same as babies. Sometimes I'm looking at photos and I'm like, wait, who's this one? And I have to read the dates. I'm like, oh, okay, I know it's that one, because that one didn't exist yet. Hey, Mr. T. Yep, that's him. Hey, Mr. T. Yes? He said he like your mohawk. Oh, you getting sleepy. You rubbing your eyes and your head. Oh, poor baby. um, but yeah, sometimes they do that in the hospital, and it's just like, it's just too much. It's just too much. And then the amount of times that they come in and out of the room. I don't know. Let me know if you who are watching, if you want to see a video about, I don't know, about annoying things that happen in the hospital, you know, during your delivery or your postpartum stay, because I definitely have a lot to say about it. I really wish, honestly, excuse me, that I would have been able to experience like a home birth, or, you know, even a birth in a birthing center. But because of the way that my first birth went, I kind of was counted as high risk for all my other pregnancies. And I researched some birthing centers. Watch what he does. He does not like me wiping his nose. Can mommy wipe it, please? He acts like I'm trying to kill him or strangle him or something. Let me wipe it. But yeah, they wouldn't accept me because I was you know, titled high risk or whatever. So, but I really wish that I had been able to experience that. And I almost thought about having my fourth as a home birth, but my doula was not on board. Yes, they do be annoying, Yana. And I know, even you guys watching the support people, I know y'all was annoyed. And I'm like, but at the time when you're going through it, it's like, it's just, yeah, it's annoying. But you just like, whatever, let's just get the baby out and let's go. Don't want to make Mr. T. Yeah, he is getting a little feisty, isn't he? Cause I gotta wipe his nose. That mommy wipe your nose. Oh, you are? Oh my gosh, how excited! Cause you have 2 girls, right? Oh, that's so cool. 2 girls and a little boy. Oh, I hope they're excited too. Do they know if you're having a boy? That'd be so cool. Oh, you gotta have a little boy. I feel like the most people that I've known that had babies recently have boys. My baby name is Ace. I would like to see. Yeah, okay, thank you. I would definitely do that, because it is just, it's ridiculous. It's like they want you to rest, they want you to breastfeed, they want you to do this, they want you to do that, and they're in there 100 times. You got who do we got in there? You got the nurses coming in, you got the doctors coming in, you got the lady that does the listening, hearing test coming in. You have the people taking pictures coming in. You got people coming in to take blood, do your blood pressure and your body. It's just too much. I was so ready to get out of there. I think this time, even though I had a C-section, I only stayed for 2 days and a half or a day and a half. Something like that. Like with a C-section, you're normally your stay is about 3 days, but I was like, As soon as my doctor said I was good to go home, I was like, yes, let me up out of here. And then that's when all the real pain started. So, but yes, to fall asleep. And I'm just think if there's any more. I don't think there's any more. So we went over hunger, we went over thirst, comfort, to feel safe, sickness, growth spurts, pain relief, the need to suckle, to warm up, to calm down, and to fall asleep. Yep, 2 girls. Oh, okay. Oh, that's so cool. They're gonna have a little baby brother. Oh, that's so nice. I got 1 girl and 3 boys. They're super excited. But Saya wants a sister so bad. I'm like, don't know what to tell you, Saya. I don't know what to tell you. You gotta wait for Aunt Yanni. But I think that's all for this video for tonight. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any of these comments here really quickly. 17 weeks. Okay, I got that one. Oh, Pink's so sweet. When you said, do you know why? Can you just, I don't know. Did I answer your question, I guess, during the course of the video, or no? No, Aetha. Here, Mr. Turtle. Let's see, he's ready to go to sleep. He's ready to go to sleep. Okay. But yeah, sometimes those doctors and nurses do treat you like a first-time mom, and it's like, I know this stuff already. Just let me up out of here. Okay, I think I did get all the comments done. You can't be acting like this. All right, well tomorrow you're not gonna be allowed to be in my video. Okay. All right. I guess I should go now because he's getting a little antsy. He ready to go to sleep, I guess. Yes, thank you all for watching. Let me just go over my my list real quick. We're slowly working our way through it. There's a couple more things I want to talk about. And yeah, definitely the low supply weaning, because that was requested. So what to expect, you know, when you're weaning, when you're thinking about weaning, and what you as a mom will experience, what your baby will experience when you're weaning. Stress and breastfeeding, we talked a little bit about that, pumping and feeding on demand, and the benefits basically of breastfeeding. So we're going to be covering all that in the next days. But okay. But if you have any topics that you want to see discussed, you can always leave that in the comments of this video or in any of the posts that I do. I do read all my comments, so just leave it anywhere. I'll be able to see it. Thank you all for watching and joining tonight. I hope that you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, you know, for more breastfeeding videos, more motherhood videos. And I hope you all have a great rest of your night. And I'll see you in my next video tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Okay, bye.